Hello everybody, it's Kate, the West Coast paper crafter from Vancouver Island, Canada. I am a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator for those of you who don't know. And tonight is project number 2 in my Memorable Blooms card class at home. So I don't want to ruin the surprise, but this might be one of my favorite cards in the series. So it's probably because I like green and pink together. I'm not sure, but I love this design and I think you guys are gonna like it too. Hey Carissa, I see you. Girl, it's late. So I will be using the Memorable Blooms stamps and the dies for this card. And I'm also using the largest circle shape from the Stylish Shapes die set. I think it is 3¼ inch diameter, but I don't have my ruler handy. Let's see. Yes, no, might be 3 1/8. Anyway, it's the biggest circle die. So if you are crafting along, you are also going to need a pencil and an eraser, Stampin' Blends, or whatever you want to use to color in your images. And I think that's it. All right, let's get started. I'm just going to adjust a little bit and I will walk you through these measurements. So to start out, I have got an old olive card base, and this is 5.5 by 8.5, scored and folded at 4¼ on the 8.5 inch side. Carissa, I love you in an extremely weird way. All right. Then I've got a piece of the Designer Series paper from the Floral Delights paper pack, and this is 4 by 5¼ a Mossy Meadow layer, 3 7/8 by 3 7/8, and a basic white layer that is 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. All right, let's get started. We are going to start out with our circle die, and we're going to use this. Hey Jackie, thanks for tuning in. We're just going to use this to trace a circle on our basic white layer. So if you are getting the card kits from me, I have already gone ahead and traced a circle for you just in case you didn't have a circle die. So I'm not actually going to be cutting anything with this circle die. I'm just using it to trace a circle, and pretty light with my pencil because I will erase it later. And once you have your circle traced, then we're going to make a wreath. So I'm going to use the stamp that has the leaves, and I'm going to stamp it in a circle following the lines. Hello, Tessa from Arizona. And I'm going to start in the top right, and I'm just going to work my way around. So I do want to leave some space in the middle for a sentiment, and each edge of the card in the middle, I'm going to also pop up some flowers. So I'll leave a little bit of space there as well, or if you have space, it won't matter because that's going to get covered up. All right, so I am just stamping around the circle. And last one. All right, I'm going to let that dry for a second because then I'm going to erase my pencil lines. And while that's drying, I'm going to stamp my floral images. These ones here. I'm going to stamp this floral image 4 times in black as well. All right. And then one more thing to stamp, and I might as well do it now. So I've got the thanks so much sentiment from the Memorable Bloom stamp set, and I'm going to stamp this right in the middle of that wreath. And that's all the stamping that we're going to do. But there's a lot of coloring, so if you like to color, then this project is for you. I'm going to put on my reading glasses because that's just how it goes now that I'm getting older. I've just got a base, just a plain old eraser, and I'm just gently erasing that circle that I drew. I'm going to just go all the way around the corner and get rid of that little pencil mark just in case, because I don't want that to pop through. Of course, I've smudged. That's typical. Hey, Judy. You're right, Chris. I was thinking about converting my stamps, that I was going to ask you about that because I know you took a stamp pad for the white and used the black refill to fill it in, and I've heard, not from experience because I've never tried it, but I have heard other people say that it's pretty awesome. All right, so I'm going to start coloring in the wreath, and I'm going to do the small leaves in a light Mossy Meadow. So I'm not going to color this entire image because then I would be keeping you guys for like 45 minutes. There's a lot of coloring to do with this card, but it's a great project for one of those afternoons or evenings where you just kind of want to zone out and do a little creating. All right, so now the next thing I'm going to do is add some color to my big leaves, and I'm going to do a little bit of blending with this one. So I'm starting with, if I can open it, I'm going to start with my dark old olive, and I'm just going to add some dark ink right down the middle of this big broad leaf. I'll do this one too. So I really love my Stampin' Blends, but there's always a but. I find that they eventually start to fray a little bit as well. And sometimes if you're not careful, they'll come apart. So I don't know if you'll be able to tell, but this tip is actually fraying a little bit. And I'm not even hard on my Stampin' Blends. So I was doing a little bit of research on this, and I think it is not uncommon. So that's disappointing because Stampin' Blends are not cheap. I still love them. I'm still going to buy them, but what it does mean is that I may have to end up replacing certain sets if they start to fray, such as my old olive. But I don't have much to compare it to because this was one of the first colors that I bought in a Stampin' Blend, and I've probably had it for 3 years, and it's been used in card classes as well. So maybe it's just been overused. I really don't know. But it saddens me because I love them and they're not cheap. All right, I digress. So I would go around this entire image and I would color everything in, but I'm not going to do that to you guys. So I went ahead and I did one in advance. So you can see the little ink smudges, so you know for sure that I stamped this image because I always get ink on my fingers and transfer it to my paper. It's my signature move, friends. All right, so now I'm going to color in, not all of these because again, time, but I'm going to use Petal Pink and Calypso Coral for these flowers. And then I'm also going to use my dark and light old olives. I'm just going to use the bullet tips for the leaves. So I'm going to color in one half of the leaf with the dark old olive, and then I'm going to go over it twice with the light old olive just to blend those colors in. And that's my simple blending technique. Well, hello, Brandy from Central Alberta. Nice to see you. I am headed to Alberta on Saturday. Well, I won't be in Alberta on Saturday because we're going to break up our trip, but we're going on my son and I are going on a spring break adventure, and my parents and my sister and my in-laws and all Kai's cousins live in Alberta. So we are going to Strathmore. Hannah, which is where I'm from, will end up in Red Deer. And I'm sure we're going to stop in Olds and probably St. Albert because we have more family there as well. And then maybe, if I am super adventurous, I will take Kai to West Edmonton Mall because he's never been. All right, I've got a dark petal pink, and I am going to use this one in the middle of one of my flowers. I'm going to just kind of like brush this color out. I'm pushing the color out so the flower is going to be a little bit darker in the center. And then on this particular image, the leaves, they just bend over a little bit. So I'm going to add darker petal pink to the part of the leaves that are folding over. And for my images, I'm just going to alternate which flower is petal pink and which flower is Calypso coral, but you guys do you. All right, so that was the dark petal pink. This is the light. I'm going to use the brush tip because I've got lots to color over. And then I'm just going to blend in the dark just by coloring over it with the light, and that's going to help blend those colors in. That's why I love Stampin' Blends. I just love them. But I also hear that there are Copic markers that are, shall I say, more durable than the Stampin' Up ones, that last longer, and that you can color match them fairly close to Stampin' Up's colors, but I've never tried them. But I hear they're good. So if anybody uses Copic markers, let me know in the comments what you think. So I can't say I love everything that Stampin' Up makes, but I like most of their stuff. And I do love their Stampin' Blends. I just wish they wouldn't fray when they get too used. All right, now I'm using Calypso Coral. I'm doing the petals where the petal folds over in the dark color, and I'm just going to kind of brush in that middle part of the flower to make it a little bit darker. Hey Maria, in Michigan. Thanks for tuning in. And then I'm just going to go over that with my light Calypso Coral and blend those colors in. And that's all I'm going to do on these images I stamped because I've already colored and pre-cut. But I just want to show you how easy it is to blend in these two shades. So when you're using your Stampin' Blends, if you don't love how the colors are blending, if it looks too, there's too much of a difference between the two, go over the dark with the light and then leave it for about a minute, 30 seconds to a minute, let that paper dry a bit, and then go over it again to blend a little bit more. You don't want to continually go over the paper, otherwise it's going to get too wet and it might fray. Fray? Rip? I'm not sure. Hey Wendy from Kamloops. I'm driving through Kamloops on Saturday. It's on my route. I'm going to take the Coquihalla. I've got the first ferry booked Saturday morning. We're going to make it at least to Salmon Arm. And then we'll head to Strathmore in Alberta on Sunday. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so these are the ones that I've already colored and cut out with the dies from the set. I'll give you a little close up so you can see how those colors blend in. The petal pink, you can't see the difference as much, but you can definitely see the difference between the light and the dark Calypso Coral. All right. Hello, Kathy from Texas. Hello, Ruth. Okay, now I am going to glue my basic white onto my Mossy Meadow. Is that the right? I just totally forgot the name of that shade. Yes, Mossy Meadow. Oh my goodness. All right. Today I worked. It was a busy day at work, and as soon as work was done, I worked 10-hour shifts. As soon as work was done, I got busy getting ready to go because my husband is not traveling with us, and that means getting ready and packing is my deal because he's busy with his own stuff. So it's on me. I got to figure out everything I need. I'm going to bring my dog for a little road trip because I treat him better. Sort of, maybe. I don't know. I hope it's sunny when we drive through too, Wendy, because I don't want bad weather on the Coquihalla by any stretch. Hello, Marie from New Zealand. Thanks for tuning in. Coloring is therapeutic. Hello, Diane from Minnesota. Anyway, Wendy, I've been watching the weather reports and checking the highway cams. I know that Highway 1 at Rogers Pass was closed today for some avalanche work. I guess it is that time of year. So I'm going to pay attention to what happens because I certainly do not want to head towards Alberta if I can't make it through Rogers Pass. But I don't think it's supposed to be bad weather. At least the last time I checked the weather network, it looked like smooth sailing. But I probably will get a little shock because it's going to be colder in Alberta than it is here. And I just packed some mittens and a toque and some warm jackets just in case. So I've just gone ahead and glued down that designer series paper. I've just glued down the green side, but if you prefer the yellow on the other side, then switch it up. And then I'm going to add this right in the middle. But before I do that, I've got just a little piece of basic beige that I am going to add, a little basic beige ribbon. Too bad I couldn't cover up my smudge marks. I might have to add some bling to this project just to do that. I agree, Wendy. The Coquihalla is a gorgeous drive, no doubt. All the way to Alberta is a gorgeous drive, actually. I like Alberta. Maybe I'm jaded because I'm from Alberta, but I like Alberta. I like the drive to Alberta. And what I really like is staying in a hotel room. Like, really like staying in a hotel room. It's going to be a good time. So we're going to stay in a hotel and just break the trip up. When I was younger, I would just drive all the way from Alberta to the island in a day, and it never bothered me. But as I get older, I don't love night driving as much. So I'm a little bit more of a nervous Nelly the older I get. And I just figure, why would I do that to myself? I'm going to just take it easy. Oops, you know what I did? I added that tear and tape a little bit too much in the middle. Hey, Margaret, I am using the Memorable Blooms stamp set from Stampin' Up. It is beautiful. Hello, Kim from Central WI. Is that Wisconsin? I bet it is Wisconsin. If I'm wrong, I'm sorry. I'm not all up to date on the abbreviations for all the states, but I bet you my kid could tell me what it is. He's smart like that. He's studying for, a geography test for all the little countries in Africa, and he's going to nail it. And I don't even think I could remember 5. He's so smart. All right. Now I'm going to just fold over this basic beige so it attaches to the back of that tear and tape that I put down, and fold the other side over. Now, the beauty about tear and tape, if you fold it over and it's not perfectly straight, you can just gently pull it back up and reposition it. It's very forgiving, even though tear and tape is quite strong, but it allows you to do that with a ribbon. Thanks, Kim, Wisconsin. Perfect. All right, so now I'm going to put this right in the middle of my card front. So for the next 2 Memorable Blooms classes on Thursday evenings, I have them pre-recorded just in case I'm not back from my road trip. I know I won't be back next Thursday. I'll still be in Alberta, but just in case I'm not back the following Thursday, I've got them pre-recorded, so they are going to pop up on YouTube at 7 p.m. Pacific time each Thursday night. And then I'll also repost them to Facebook as well. And then, but I'm hoping to be back by the second week of spring break, because I don't want to leave my husband too long. But we'll just see how much fun we're having. So no guarantees. That's what I told him. It's his choice. He wants to stay home. All right. So now these flowers that I've colored and cut, I am going to pop them up with dimensionals in the little spaces in between our greenery. So just like that. Yeah, this is one of my favorite cards. I like all of them. Hello, Jennifer from Friendly Manet. I don't know where that is. Oh, thanks, Wendy. I don't think I will, but I'll let you know. Even if we had bad weather, my husband lets me use his hotel points and I can get a place to stay for free, which is really nice. He's so generous with his hotel points when sometimes he travels for work and he accumulates a bunch of hotel points, and he doesn't like staying in hotels, but I do, and so does my son. So he's very generous and lets me use them whenever I want, which is really nice. I don't go places too often, but when I do, I stay in his hotel with his hotel points. All right. Yes, Jennifer, is it Manitoba? Are you talking Manitoba? Because I know where Manitoba is too. I've been there. Okay. So, almost done. Oh, Carissa, I was just wondering if you were still awake, and you are. Okay, Carissa, I sent you a package for this class, so I'm hoping you're going to get it soon. All right, Jennifer, it is Manitoba. Problem solved, because I was wondering. Yeah, I don't know about room service. I might get a free room, but I'm probably still too cheap for room service. Anyway, the only downside to traveling with my dog is that he is used to living rural, so taking him for walks on a leash really bothers him. Like, he cannot get past me wanting him to do his business when I've got him on a leash. Like, he has to be absolutely desperate for a bathroom break when I've got the leash on him. So that's going to be a little bit of a adjustment for him and I, because he's a private dog. He doesn't want me around when he's got to do his business. Anyway, he'll be okay. He's excited too. He knows I'm getting ready and I'm packing, and he's quite unsettled. So I've just taken a bit of linen thread and I am going to slide it underneath that basic beige ribbon, if I can. It's not behaving. And then I'm going to tie a bow. All right. I don't know if you can hear that, but my dog is barking because he's in a mood. Kai was watching Squid Games after school, and there was some crazy loud scene. And Willie he was really bothered by that. I don't know, maybe there was a bunch of flashing lights and there was a fight scene or something, and yeah, he was funny. But he is out of sorts when I start packing up and getting ready to go, and I think it's because he doesn't know if he gets to come or not. Anyway, he's coming, and he's excited. And Mike's probably excited too, to have some peace and quiet for a little bit of time. Don't get used to it, honey. We're coming back. All right, busy night at work. Oh, Krista, that doesn't sound good. All right, so now I'm just going to shorten my bow loops a little bit, trim the ends, and that's it. Card number 2 is done. Oh, you know what would look really good? And I never even thought about this, but if you have some Wink of Stella, you could add a little bit of Stella to your flowers, and that would look really nice. I just happen to have some Stella, so let's do it. It just takes a second. And just make sure I've got some Stella in my brush tip. I am on the way out. This Stella is almost empty. Maybe I don't even have enough. Let's see. Ah, shoot. I think it's done. I got the tiniest little bit of shimmer. I'm going to give it a go. And then hopefully Stella's in stock, because I'm going to add some to cart. All right, that's it. Card number 2. Like so. This is one of my favorite designs so far. Now, if you like to add a layer to the inside of your card, then I would recommend that you just cut a lighter shade of green or white to 4 by 5 1/4 and glue that in the middle and do a little stamp or something so it's not naked. And I'm going to give you this is coming up next, sneak peek. Really quick. I don't want to ruin it. I just ruined it, but that's coming up for next week. That's another fun design with the Memorial Blooms bundle with the very beautiful intricate die cut that comes with it. I'm going to flip the camera around. I'm working on cleaning up this craft space just in case Mike has friends over when I'm gone. Now, I was really hoping my paper pumpkin was going to show up before I go, but I don't think it's going to make it, which is too bad. So I'm going to take along, I have got last month's paper pumpkin that I haven't even opened up yet. I'm going to take this along with me, and that's what I'm going to craft with for the week. And I've been chatting with my mom because she's a big crafter too. She doesn't do cards, but she does lots of other things. And I think we're going to do a little cricket crafting. So I have got my eye on this little Joy cricket. It's just a little small table-sized cricket that I have convinced myself that I need. Now, I don't know if I need it, but I feel like I really want it. And if I'm going to buy a cricket, then it's going to be a lot cheaper to buy it in Alberta because we pay less tax there. So don't be surprised if I pop on a video when I am on vacation and I'm using a little cricket to make cards. So I would love to know, hey Cami, thanks for tuning in. I would love to know if any of you are using cricket to make cards. And if you are, then send me a picture so I can see what you're making. I've got a big cricket that my friend Carolyn gave me, and I do use that, and I've made some mugs and t-shirts, but I haven't done anything for card making, and I thought it might be really nice for personalized sentiments or messages or whatever. So let me know if you are card making with your cricket or what other crafts you do. And Rosalie, I was in Michael's and I saw the Cricut Joy Ultra was on sale, like $50 off, but the sale ended today. And I convinced myself I needed the smallest one, which is the Joy. So I reluctantly passed up that sale, but it was $50 off today in Michael's. So anyway, that's it. I know, Carissa, I hear you. I have a big one. Carolyn gave me a big one. Now I want a little one. I don't know. I get things in my head. A couple weeks ago, I decided I needed a 3D printer, and then I talked myself out of it, and I'm really glad I did, because it was like $400. And I do not need I don't need it. I do not need it. All right. Anyway, that is it. Now, just a little recap. This is the first project that we did last Thursday in the Memorial Blooms class. This is the project from tonight. I am going to take this video, put it on YouTube, so this is going to be available for replay. And then I'm also going to I'm going to post a picture of this with the measurements and the link to the YouTube in the comments if you didn't craft along, but you need to go over the measurements. All right, I think that's it. Thanks for tuning in. Carissa, I'm going to message you tomorrow and we'll talk more about Cricut. And yeah, we'll talk more about Cricut tomorrow. I think I have the mat for card making. I just haven't made any cards. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in, and I hope you all have a really good night. I'm not sure when my next live is going to be, but I will bring my phones down just in case I can pop on live at my usual time next Monday. It just depends on my internet and what's going on. Anyway, have a great night, and I will keep everybody posted on the page on what I am doing on the road trip with Kai and Willie. Have a good night.